When I was just a little boy, I asked my father, what will I be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? Is what he said to me.
Hello.
We're just swaying and listening.
Singing along.
We're such dorks.
Welcome to the Relishing Dead podcast, where we devour everything in the TWD universe and beyond. I'm Dawn.
I'm Eliza.
I'm Barb.
And I'm Carol.
And tonight we have a wonderful, fantastic, talented, handsome Scott McCord from
Ah!
Yay! Yes.
High fives all around. Let's go.
Boom.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
All right. I see Carol. I see Eliza. I see everybody's here. That's good.
Everybody's here. Yes. Yes.
I love the handsome part. Thank you. I rarely get that, especially as Victor. Victor doesn't get handsome too often.
And just for the audience,
You're welcome.
Scott did not write that intro himself.
No.
Why did you have to tell them that?
Dawn, he'll pay you later.
We'll pay you later. We'll pay you later.
It's so good to see all y'all.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
God.
excited to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So excited to be here. You had my friend Liz Saunders on here. That was a great episode.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's all right, huh? She's not
She's
so
She's
bad.
awesome.
Yeah, she's great. And then a couple of weeks ago, we also had Jamie McGuire.
Oh,
Smiley.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you want to know something interesting? And this is this crazy thing about this wonderful show, and probably TV shows like this, like, you know, Walking Dead, these where you have large casts, is that, and I don't know, well, I'm sure you guys know this, is that our paths don't always cross. You know what I mean? Like, we can shoot, it's been like how many seasons, and I know Jamie McGuire met his character met in the last season, but I've never met him.
Mm.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And I think most of it just has to do with again, like just never being on set at the same time.
Right, right.
And it happens quite often on this show. Like, there's still people in the big. We have a big cast, but that I've met outside of the show, but we've never had scenes together. And we're, you know, even in season 3, there's still people I haven't had a scene with yet. Pretty crazy, but he's a really lovely guy.
And watch everybody else. Just show up on set and watch another scene so you get to meet people.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I gotta say, I'm happy that Victor has never come across Smiley. I will say that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's true. It's true. And what a great story for Jamie. You know what I mean? That he just had that much of an impact.
Yeah.
In season 1, that he became this iconic monster on the show, you know?
he's creepy and he's
Yeah.
lovely as a person, but
Yeah,
man,
he's
oh man, that fucking smile of his, he is.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean,
No wonder he's an only child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Scott, we want to, of course, we will talk in hard depth on From with you, but we want to talk all things Scott.
Okay.
And so we've done some digging. Carol
Oh,
has
boy.
fallen down a couple of rabbit holes
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at your stuff.
Here we go.
Here we go. We want to talk all things Scott.
so
All right.
I gotta tell you, I went down some serious rabbit holes this week. Oh my God.
Oh,
Can we-
yes. Here we go. Yeah.
Can we just talk? I mean, my kids, my grandkids, when my children found out that you were a certain character on a certain show, they lost their minds. They were like,
Can
"Oh
I
my-"
guess? Can I guess?
Mhm.
Was it Jake on Paw Patrol?
No, that my grandchildren love Jake on Paw Patrol, but that is not the one.
Okay. Which one?
This is the one.
Owen.
Total drama, Rama.
Love
Yeah.
Owen. And can I just tell he is like just my kids
Oh.
lost their shit. Yeah.
That's so great. And Owen is, I mean, that's my favorite. And we've been doing that. I just did him last year for the new series, for the new Total Drama that they started. So that's the gift that keeps on giving, that show, because Owen keeps coming back, like, you know, just for various things and guest spots or whatever on the show. I love doing that. Thank you very much, first of all. That's great to hear. And it's great to hear that how old is he?
Well, my kids are, well, my I have a 32-year-old, a 25-year-old, and an 18-year-old. And they
Congratulations.
all watched Total Drama, and they were all about it. And when they
All
found
grew
out,
up. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So my grandbabies, my granddaughter, she's almost 6, and my grandson is almost 4, and they're both Paw Patrol freaks. So
Yeah, and that's another show that keeps going too. And just they had a movie last year, I think, that came out that I was not involved in, but that's another one too, where every year they call me back to play Jake every now and then, which is great.
Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget, and oh my God, Miss Spider, and Metajets, and Knights of Zodiac, and I mean, it just keeps going and going. But I have a question about all of your voice acting.
Yes.
And I'm curious, there's so many different characters that you voice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you practice on your off time to come up with these different voices, or is it just something that just comes to you?
That's a great question. No, I wouldn't say. I mean, I'm just trying to remember. Like with Owen, for instance, I remember that just came out of the series of auditions that I did for it based on what they gave me. And one of the things I remember in the character description, for instance, was Chris Farley. And I remember, I think I was using something from Tommy Boy. Because in Tommy Boy, he kind of talked like a child a little, grindy voice. That's sort of, Owen has that sort of a thing about it. So I remember kind of working on that on my own because that was just part of the audition process. And then I think some of them are, it just comes from being like a mean mimic as a kid. And you do sort of you put these things in the hip pocket and the back pocket over the years that you find, that I definitely pulled out for other characters when the time was right. You know what I mean? But I think that's such a great question. There's sort of a funny idea that I'm like sitting around by myself, just coming up with voices.
I pictured that in my head. You're like,
Well, it's funny. My wife always says that the joke in our house is that, like, even when I go away for 5 months to work, she still doesn't get rid of me because I have a daughter, and so when the TV's on, sometimes she'll go across something on Netflix or Total Drama, and my wife will still hear me from her office. It's like I never really leave the house fully.
Right.
It's like you're still out there,
That's funny.
Yeah.
One of your actors actually won you a 2016 Best Actor in an Animated Series, a Canadian Actors Award, which is similar to or equivalent to the Oscars here in the States. Which animated series was that for?
That was for a really wonderful series that went for a few seasons called Just in Time. That I think was aimed more at sort of, preschool and slightly above. And I played a little yellow spongy thing called Squidgy.
I like it. Oh, I want a yellow spongy thing.
I got to Google Squidgy now.
A little Squidgy. Yeah. And that was a blessing. It's sort of like, the Canadian Screen Awards are kind of more like our Emmys in a way, like for television. And that was a beautiful, wonderful surprise. It was really a delightful experience and a great show. And and I was actually just talking to my wife about that the other day, where we brought that one up, and I went, and it's one of those things where I didn't think I was going to win. I didn't prepare a speech or anything. There was a friend of mine named Julie Lemieux, who's one of Canada's, she's like one of the greatest voice actors, and she had done this wonderful dramatic performance in a cartoon. And I thought she had it in the bag. I thought it was hers.
Well, Squidgy is adorable. I just Googled
Squidgy.
Adorable.
Everybody needs a Squidgy in their life.
Yeah. He's stinking cute.
Oh, yeah.
I like him.
And he kind of sounded, it was a very tiny little voice that I did.
Aww.
I think it drove parents crazy. They were like, no,
I want that on my voicemail for work.
You've got it, Eliza. No problem.
So as I watched your character and your career develop, I saw you did something, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Loop group. I saw that you were part of a loop group. And then I saw the word Titanic. And I was like, holy hell. So I had to go look up what a loop group was. But you
Right.
actually did that for the Titanic. You did it for Angela's Ashes. So for everybody in the audience, explain what a loop group does. Because I know now that I've went and researched it.
Well, there's two things I can respond to with that. First of all, yeah, a loop group is just basically when they bring a bunch of people in the room to kind of fill out a part of the audio where, like, you know, there's like crowd scenes or people, things, you know, noise. You have a lot of people on the ship, a lot of people screaming, something happening, right? You bring a bunch of people, actors in, and they'll do that stuff. In the post-production phase of the show, that just sort of helps, you know, fill out the audio landscape. But this is what's interesting about that, Eliza, and I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't do any of it. I've never done a loop group in my life, and I noticed that as well come up on my CV on IMDb, and I thought that's so interesting. There must be another Scott McCord, and maybe the lines got crossed or something. Because I thought it was pretty amazing that I was in Titanic too. I was like, oh, I don't remember that one. But if it helps my resume, you know, that looks pretty cool on the resume. I'm like, fuck yeah. You know? No, isn't that interesting? I didn't actually do it. I saw those though. Yeah, there was a few of them, and I thought, oh, that's so interesting. There's got to be another Scott McCord, I think.
Well, son of a biscuit eater, I got all excited because I know we've got some big Titanic fans in our family, and I was like, oh my God. And then, you know, Angela's Ashes, but I like, you're like, if it bumps up my dog's leave them alone.
That's right. No, now you've got this disappointing actor on your show that was over anything.
Oh, it's over. It's over.
Squidgy. Yeah. See ya. Yeah. Squidgy. You've got Squidgy, basically.
We got Squidgy, not Titanic.
Not Titanic. I know. Strange though, isn't it?
Screaming crowd, the crowd sinking or something.
I would have done it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I would do it now if they asked me to do it. Who wouldn't? You know.
Okay, so we learned something tonight, didn't we? IMDb is not right all the time.
Not all the time. No. And stuff like that happens too. Like there's stuff on my resume where like I remember I was hired for a film with Colin Farrell and Al Pacino called The Recruit.
Yeah.
And it was a great story where like they needed this guy to do something with Al Pacino. Like, I don't know what it was, deliver a pizza. It was a really small little part. Like just, they needed a guy. And it was one of those things where I don't know what had happened, but I got a call from my agent and they said, you got to get down to the film set. The director's just going to meet you and probably somebody else, and just decide which guy he likes. And, you know, this is when I was a young actor. Well, who's going to turn down that opportunity to have 2 seconds in a movie with Al Pacino? So
yeah.
I raced down to this film set, and it was awkward. I was standing there. They were all having lunch in this big room, and I didn't know who to look for. And then finally somebody brought me to the director, and the director goes, yeah, come to my trailer. He's eating like this. And then I stand in front of him and he goes, all right, do your line to Al Pacino. And I don't even think he was watching me. And I said it, and he goes, do you think you could act with Al? And I went, yeah. And he goes, all right, great, thanks. And I left. Anyway, that night they called, they go, you're going to shoot this thing. And it was, I think, in 2 days. Anyway, long story short, too late. They called me the night before and they canceled it. They wrote the part out, which happens. You know, they just decided not to shoot that thing. But what's funny is I think if you go to certain, it's, I don't know if it's IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, it's like my highest rated movie in my CV, and I'm not in it.
Oh my goodness.
That stuff like that happens all the time. You know what I mean? Because somehow I managed to get listed somewhere in the credits as that guy, the pizza guy, or whatever it was. And I don't know. I'm not even in.
That isn't you on the Hollywood Walk of Fame either. Just kidding.
No. Squidgy. That's what we're. Yeah.
But you have, by rights, played opposite of some of Hollywood's biggest names.
There's a couple in there.
Linda Hamilton, Bruce Willis, Famke Jensen.
Yeah. Yes.
Famke from Hemlock Grove.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, personally.
So you were Hemlock Grove fans, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a couple of episodes. That was super fun. That was doing. That was a couple of episodes where I'm trying to remember the idea was that Famke's character in an experiment, her body was dying,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and she had to transfer herself to another vessel. And I ended up being, I was this like, this billionaire tech guy, whatever it was, and I was her vessel, so I had to become her. But then her and I had these scenes together. It was super fun. That was a super fun show to be on. They were a great gang of people. Joel, all those guys. That was a great couple weeks with them that I got to spend with them.
And then we have Shoot 'Em Up with Paul Giamatti.
He was super great too. Yeah, great guy. One scene, but just we had a great time. Yeah, lovely guy.
And what is the Murdoch Mysteries? What is that about?
That is a really popular Canadian show that is basic. It's like it's a timepiece. It's and it's a detective show, procedural essentially. That is now in its, I want to say, 17th season here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the guy that plays Murdoch, Yannick Bisson, is like every mother's dream. This guy, he's just a handsome, wonderful, lovely guy. He's played this character for years. He'd be like the Matlock of Canada, or like, I don't know if that's, I mean, you know what I mean? That kind of idea. It's like a Murder, She Wrote kind of show, but it's set, I think now they're into the, what decade would they be into? I think it started at the turn of the century or something. And then anyway, that's a fun show. Cause you get to go and do that sort of work that takes place in that kind of, the wardrobe and, the sets are really cool. They've had, the same studio for a long time, and you get thrown back to the turn of the century. It's really lovely, done really well here.
FBI. And then you were on FBI.
FBI, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this was a cool one too. Yeah.
Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah.
There was a reel on your page of you and Linda Hamilton. And then on the demo reel, it doesn't say what the show is, and so I fell down rabbit holes trying to find it. But it was Lost Girl.
Lost Girl.
And your character on that reel, I was just kind of like, "Whoa, he's a little risque." Drinking.
Yeah, he was a sleaze.
And curling his tongue, and I'm like, "Rare,"
Yeah, and it's a great scene. They come to me.
About sex.
It was
about sex.
Now we're talking about sex. very, very, yeah.
It was a great little scene, and it was just in an episode. And then they came back and visited me again. I can't remember what, but Linda came in with someone, and they were there. I had to. What did I have to do? It was something like I drank blood. I can't remember I can't remember what it was. But there was something like we had a history, right? And Linda and I had a history. And that moment that you're talking about was great because I don't know if it was in that part of the reel, but Linda had to, I made this really sleazy, this totally offhand, sleazy remark. And she has to grab my head when I'm laughing like this, slam it down on the table. So I got my ass kicked by Linda Hamilton all day.
Nice.
And she was, she went for it. It was great. And she's beautiful, beautiful soul, really, really lovely person. But that was another really fun character part, another really fun show. That show did really well here as well, Lost Girl.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're reviving.
Yeah, it looked really interesting. I thought I'm going to have to try to dig it up.
Yeah, I think you guys, if you like, it's sort of, it lives in this world of stuff that we're talking about. I think you guys might like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Sinner.
Oh, The Sinner, yeah. Now, I did that. That was during season 1 of From, when I just started the show here, and that actually just happened in the middle of when we were shooting the first season for a week, and was just shot about an hour away here, where I left the show, and I went and shot that for a week, and came back. That's why you can see in the picture there, I'm sporting Victor hair.
So how do you as an actor or any actor balance in your brain scripts? If you're running 2 shows within the same parallel time, I would go in talking like, Victor over here at Center, or, and get all conflustered. How do you?
Yeah.
Is it just a trick of the trade that you develop over time that you're able to separate the two? If you're
Yeah, I
working
guess so. I
on
mean, I had to. Yeah, I mean, you know, the benefit of it was that of going on to that show was that I'd been totally, you know, I'd been working here, and so you know, I'd been working here in the crew, and some of the same crew people were on that other show,
Mm.
and so it kind of felt like moving from like family to family. And while I had to switch gears, I felt like I'd already, you know, I'd been warming up and I had all, you know, 8 cylinders all revved up just from working on From. So by the, you know, taking a break and going and doing that was, from memory anyway, it was pretty easy, you know, and I just did the work at home and, you know, and then I got there and we shot all that stuff for The Sinner, I think within a week. And then I was back here. Yeah, it all went pretty smoothly, but that's a great question. I mean, yeah, and especially in the first season when I was just, you know, finding Victor. Like I don't think I was that far in before I did that. So yeah, it was you know, it's all a challenge, I guess, you know.
To feed off that question, as an amazing actor, how do you prepare for the role of Victor? Do you have something special you do prior to shooting?
Yeah, there's a bunch. Sure. I mean, I think that now that we're in season 3, I think getting into him is in and out is getting easier, I should say. Just because, you know, I can feel his molecules at this point, you know, and I find myself just doing him at home here sometimes when I'm doing other things. He's just like, it's just a living, breathing thing. And so, but I think depending on, I have different preps for different things, just depending on, it's kind of like who I'm in the scene with, or just say what the scene's about. You know what I mean? The fun of it is, and with this season coming up, because I know we were talking about, I can only say that, you know, like there's just so much happening this season. You guys are going to be so thrilled. And again, you know, I was just presented with like all these wonderful new challenges for Victor that I would have never thought of. Right. You know, every time they do something, it's so great about John Griffin and Jeff and Jack Bender, like these things that they come up with, and everything that comes out of the mind of John. And there's new staff writers as well, and like it was like there's just stuff where, like, you know, you think it's going a certain way, and I'm like, oh, I see where this is going, and then they drop the next 2 scripts, and I go, what?
Yeah,
you know. And then I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I got to do that. That's right. You know, and it's exciting. So I feel like each new thing for me, I love it, is just being able to come up with a new prep for each new episode or each new scene, you know, even because they keep throwing great new challenging stuff all the time.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm pretty thrilled about the season. And I got to tell you, oh my God, it's so hard. I love talking about this because my wife, who's watching right now, her name's Kelsey.
We won't tell anybody.
No, don't tell anybody. Kelsey Matheson, and she's we've been together almost 20 years and married for 15, and we're she's, you know, my biggest fan and supporter, and she puts up with all my shit because, you know, of course I'm crazy. You guys know actors, I'm crazy, and it's hard. You can imagine to finish a day of work, and especially if it's gone, you know, like I'm so excited, or we found some, and I come home and call. She doesn't want to know. She loves the show. She doesn't want to know any story stuff. I cannot reveal, and I wouldn't, any story stuff. But do you know how hard that is? Do you know how hard that is to go? She'll say, "Well, how was work today?" And I'll go, "Well, do you want to know where I was?" And no. Okay. Do you want to know who I was working with? No. I can't. It's just, it's so funny because it's so hard for me. And then, of course, every now and then something slips. And she goes, "Hey, I didn't know that." And I'm like, "Oh, my God. I'm so sorry, honey. I'm so sorry. It's so hard to do, you know." But
go talk to your daughter. Go talk to your daughter.
Yeah. Right? But it's so great because Kelsey was you know, of course she was going to watch the show right from the beginning, and I hadn't seen anything. And they, you know, we got these early screeners before the first season started back in 21 or 2, whenever it started. And I think we got the first, I want to say 4 or maybe something like that, first 5. And so, you know, it was pretty exciting. And we sat down, and I think we watched all of them in one sitting. My wife was like, Well, you guys know, right? Yeah, I know. It's like,
Yeah.
do we have time for another one? Do we have time for another one? It's like, we got to feed our child. I don't care. Like, do we have time for another one? You know, it's like,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
And that's never stopped. And it was so great because it got to the point where, like, I knew the show was doing pretty well when we started hosting these from parties at our place in New York. So our friends would come over, and then I would just kind of be around, but in the background a little bit, going like, okay, enjoy, guys. This is great, and everybody's kind of hooked in. I mean, pretty great.
We've Dawn turned us on to it, and she's like, just watch the first episode, just watch and it's like within the first 10
Thank
minutes,
you,
you're like, I'm done, I'm in, all in.
Yeah, like it, and I'll say this, people ask all the time, and I don't know if I don't want to jump on your questions, so don't yell, but people always say, what's your theory? They want to know what the actor's theory is about the show, because you guys know, of course, that I'm talking to Liz, and we don't know what's coming. We don't. Right. We don't know what's coming in the next script, which is exciting. It's an exciting way to work. You can't. We don't have our arc for the entire season, and we don't have our arc for the entire series. We don't really know like where our characters are going to be. We don't know if our characters are going to live.
Yeah.
Out the season, necessarily. So. That's that presents this like this incredible like I said, like way to work on the show. I lost my train of thought there. Where were we going? We back up. You were saying, Eliza, that where were we? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I lost my train of thought there.
Oh, just how addicting the show is, and and
addictive. Yes.
Yeah,
it is. Show to show. I don't know. I forgot my point now.
Yeah, we binge watch it, and I'm just going to correct you. It's Eliza.
Oh, Eliza, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I'll forgive you this one time.
Okay, thank you. And I'm Scott or Squidgy. Squidgy.
You're forever shall be Squidgy, and I shall love him and hug him and call him Squidgy.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I just totally lost my train of thought. There was something about that. Yeah, about the how addictive the show is.
And how hard it is for you guys to come home from a shooting and not be able to divulge, the information.
Well, there was that too. Yeah, and also working this way too, where it's like, again, like from script to script, we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know what's coming.
We know. Anyways. Go ahead, Dawn.
And being where we're a Walking Dead podcast.
Yes.
Aren't you wondering why you're on here?
I guess.
we kind of think like the TWD community, we're a big part of a family, and we're all addicted to the show. Like it just sucked us in. Why do you think the similarities are to that show?
To The Walking Dead?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I'm certainly, you've got this, you've got a monster situation. You've got a sort of whatever the case is in and from. And again, I was going to talk about theories. That's what it was. That's where I lost my train of thought. That it's like we're trying to figure out, like, it's all about adapting. It's all about adapting to, this is what John's whole thing was coming out of everything in the pandemic and all these things. We're constantly in this mode of adapting now to these very extreme situations. So I know that there's similarities in that sort of thing, and also with the added element of monsters, zombies, that kind of a thing too. Right. Everybody kind of being pushed to their limits and how they survive, how they grow. You have the families of people that kind of separate and form their own communities. I think that's pretty similar to The Walking Dead as well, isn't it? I think you got a sheriff. You kind of got like a lead sheriff.
Yeah.
Right. You got Rick and you get and Boyd.
And then we got Maggie at the hilltop with Donna at the colony house.
Donna, and that sort of similar world setup where you have the people that want to live less conservatively and and just live every moment the way they want to live. But then, of course, the people down in the town that want to have a firmer set of rules and structure to how they're going to live and survive. And so I think I see a lot of similarities that way. Am I missing? What else is there?
No,
that's it.
What Scott would he be? Colony house or town?
Oh, see, I had a feeling you were going to ask me this question. I had the feeling you were going to ask me this question, and so much so that I was talking to my wife about it, talking to Kelsey about it, like 20 minutes before I jumped on with you guys. I'm like, they're going to ask me. But here's the thing. You know what? At first I said Colony House. I was like, yeah. And then the more I thought about it, because I don't know, I'm an old guy and I kind of feel like I do love my alone time, and I love, I do love a little bit. As I get older, I feel like, the simpler thing. I'm like, yeah, I think I'd be down in the town. I think it's different because if you have a family or if you have with people, as a single person, I think Jamie said something along these lines too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. I think the Colony House is still where it's at. Like, that's super,
Well,
Donna,
what is
who
Donna?
would want to be? Yeah.
What Donna says, y'all just think all we do up there is smoking, drinking, and fucking. We're kind of like, that's
No,
kind of.
I'm guessing all you lovely ladies want to be our Colony House. That's my guess. Are y'all there? You're going to Colony House?
I'm going to Colony House.
No,
Yeah.
town.
Are you a town, John? Okay.
I'm a townie.
I'm Colony House.
But I say that, but I'm spending my weekends up at Colony House.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Mark.
Well, that's the only
That's
reason I
smart.
said it.
Because I got some smoking and drinking and fucking to do. That's all I'm saying.
So, Scott, we have a ton of people in the audience that are watching, and
great.
they're just saying how much they love you. They loved you in Hemlock Grove. They'd forgotten about that show.
Oh, yeah, great. Love you back.
Anissa asked us, tell us about the process for Victor's speech cadence. He's so fascinating in his arrested state of development.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So in the way that Victor's, what's that?
So that kind of leads into a question that Dawn has for you as well.
Sure. So that was, interestingly enough, that was one of the first things that came to me when I got the audition. And so for my audition, I had 2 scenes I had to do, and they were the first 2 scenes that Victor appears in the series. So one was with Ethan. Mm-hmm. It's the one where I'm measuring the trees and he comes out and goes, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then the other one was with, if you remember in season 1, Julie is tied to a chair. Mm-hmm. And it's my introduction. It's like Victor comes in and basically goes, "Hey, I'm getting some peaches. Are you with the, I loved it. Both really great scenes. And what was amazing was, there was very little character description. There was they said something about him having, he lacked social graces. There wasn't much about him being, anyway. So I jumped in and started working around with it. And then I worked with my coach, and that, as I refer to it, sort of Victor's music, the way that he speaks, just started to kind of, it was there, and I started working with my coach, and I said, let's see if we can make this work. And for whatever reason, I think with John's writing too, there was just something that, I don't know, it just kind of seemed to flow, it worked. And then we, that's, so that was there since the beginning, but it was something that kind of, I don't know, just kind of, I think it sort of came out of if I can remember with my coach, it was almost like out of a bad acting exercise. So I could find something different to do as an actor. You know what I mean? So it's almost like an exercise where it started with me acting badly. What can I do? And I'm doing anything. I'm trying not to be embarrassed about it. And I remember I was sticking my jaw out and I was trying these different things. And then that started to come out. And so that started to become kind of Victor's thing.
Dawn, that would be a great lead into your question on Victor.
Yes, my son, I live with autism because my son is autistic. So I kind of pictured Victor on the spectrum where he was trying to communicate through his drawings and pictures, because my son communicates through his iPad.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was wondering if you developed that character on any of an autism spectrum.
I would say that there was never a point where I was thinking of it in terms of him, being autistic or anything for that matter. It was all about kind of making Victor. It was really about what I discovered. Once John told me that he was a child that had survived years alone in this place from this traumatic event that we see a little bit of in the first season, right, where the town gets wiped out. That's the thing that that was really the seed of it all. You know what I mean? That I just started to go and think about, I had the way he was speaking and everything, but physically too, how would that, all those things, how does that trauma affect them in just even the way that they act socially?
Right.
And I think that what I've been finding over the seasons, and I think what's in there and John writes and stuff too, is all these things about there's certain people that Victor will look at and then not. He can look directly at certain people and others not so much. And, then there was this thing that, like, by the time I was doing my scenes with Jade in last season, and we had this whole sequence where we met and he had the violin. I don't know if you guys remember this great little beautiful storyline that connected us. David and I started talking about, right there, David and I started talking about this. The word spectrum started to come into the conversation more, because even Jade, is Jade somewhere on the spectrum as well. We did, and again, nothing is set in stone. Nothing is, it's just all these things that we're discovering for ourselves. But I will say this, is that in my experience with friends of mine, that have autistic children and whatever else, there is there's a lot there that I have observed, and I've noticed even in terms of the regulating of emotions and how certain emotions come out suddenly, certain things happen, stuff like that, that I feel like I'm sure in some way has infiltrated my work in some way, shape, or form. But like I said, it's always, for me, it's like, it's just kind of taking what John gives me on the page there, that beautiful gift of what's there, and that all that stuff is there. And then, we have these great little moments of discovery with Victor that's just kind of Victor's own thing, he really is. I've always seen him as and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, like he's almost like his own creature of that environment.
Right.
I still sit by myself, I'm like by myself. I still sit there, stare at a wall sometimes and just think about this 10-year-old boy, 9 years old, alone, knowing that his mother has died, all alone in this place with no one. The boy in white there guiding him, surviving for years before anybody came around, and trying to fill in some of those details and that story and those holes, and just emotionally what's happened to him and how he is. I think he's just still so much that little boy that got left there.
Yeah.
How old do we assume Victor is by this point when everybody's there?
I don't know. I mean, I they've said 9 or 10, or I've heard that. I mean, that's what I was assuming.
How old is he now as an adult?
How old is he now?
Yeah.
That's never been determined either. So, and I've never really come up with anything. I think it's not, Victor's just, again, he's just Victor, and he's just who he is now as he was then. So, and his memory, of course, as we know, right? It's so, it's just as John Griffin calls him, he's an unreliable narrator to himself, which is a great way to describe him. Those memories are fragmented memories, and especially with trauma, what's real, what's not. It's a very controversial subject, the whole thing of repressed memory, but it's cool. I love how John, and all that stuff just keeps coming at me all the time. John keeps giving me these things wonderful things to play. Like the reveal, there's a great example, is the reveal of Eloise last season. That scene at the car. I never saw that coming.
That was a huge shift in Victor's character.
Huge.
And
huge.
And whom better to have with you than Catalina or Tabitha?
Oh my God. She's also like my best pal here on the show. Her and I are really tight. Yeah. I was just out on a big hike with her today. Her and I, she's awesome. Awesome.
So you have to dig deep to find that kind of an emotion.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a whole prep on its own too, and I love that those are the things that we're given to kind of go after, because I think, look at what we're living. Look at this, the show, everything that's set up here, the world that we're in, and I can say, I mean, I feel like I can say that there's just more and more of that in this new season. Like right from the get-go. The show, it just kicks off this season, there's so much going on. Scripts are great. We're all really pumped. We're all really excited.
Well, I want more blood and guts.
Yeah.
More blood and guts.
So here's a little tradition that you guys should start whenever have a death on The Walking Dead. They have a death dinner. And that was started by one of the main actresses, Sarah Wayne Callies, when they came, they get a phone call. Hey, you're going to die in this season.
Yes.
So they hold a death dinner for that person. But we have not, at this point in time, had a major character death. And so I'm like, Carol, we got to have blood and guts, and somebody's going to bite the dust. As long as it's not you or Donna, we're good.
Or Jay.
Yeah.
Or Jay.
So let me turn the lens on you guys for a second and ask, can I have some Walking Dead stuff?
Yeah.
To you guys?
Yeah.
My wife and I, of course, haven't cracked the new shows. I think I saw like about 10 minutes of the one that's taking place in New York.
Dead
City.
Dead City. But how are you guys? Are you talking about these new? You are. You're talking about these new shows. How are you liking the new shows?
We love them.
Are you loving them?
Yes.
That's what we were talking about before you came on.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they holding up to everything? Because I know Rick is back. Everybody's back, right?
Yeah.
So it's like Daryl's in Paris or something, and like I don't really know what the storylines are, but
and like Dawn says, everybody has to come home. The creators have to bring everybody back for some type of a season 12 original show finale. Bring them all home and
I see, like all together. Is that what you mean? Like bring them all
together. We want them to, it has to be done that way. We'd be mad if it's not. Very mad.
Yeah.
Before they get
that's
killed,
so
we need to get them together.
Did you watch the main show, Scott?
Do I watch the which?
Did you watch The Walking Dead, the main show?
I did. We did. My wife and I were big fans of that show. Yeah, for sure.
Who was your favorite character?
We loved. Oh my God, you guys got to help me here because the names might slip me. Morgan.
Lenny James.
Love Morgan.
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many. I mean, I even loved. I can't think of them now. Herschel.
Yeah, Scott Wilson.
Scott Wilson. I love Scott Wilson on that.
Yeah.
My wife and I loved him. I mean, I love Rick too. He's great. They're all great. I think everybody was really good. And then I did do some cons years ago for voice, and I mean, I'm gonna forget the actors' names, but there were a couple of the actors from those first few seasons that would kind of blow through, and I just quickly get to run over and go, "Oh my God, I love you so much! I love you so which was really exciting. Yeah, yeah. Have you guys had the chance to meet some of the cast? I'm sure you have, because you've had them on your show. Have you met them in person?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You have.
All those meet and greets behind me.
Yeah.
What's that?
All those are pictures of meet and greets behind me.
Oh, that behind you. Oh yeah.
Big fans.
We attend a fan. It's not what you would call a convention. It's more, we call it a family reunion, and it's called The Camp. And it's down in Georgia, and in fact, Lenny James Morgan is going to be there this year. And
right on.
We've already talked to the owners about having some of the From cast come next year, because we know you guys are filming through May. Liz is on board. Liz is all excited to come.
Liz is on board.
And it is Walking Dead, and we'll bring in, other shows that are going to, characters and actors from other shows that are there. So we've had Supernatural people there, Star Wars. So
that's amazing. The camp. That sounds amazing.
You got to we'll get you there. We got to get you there.
Yes.
I'm in.
I'm in.
Oh my God, sounds like so much fun. And y'all, all of you go?
Oh yeah. We're not Swifties, we're campies.
Yeah, and they do private events, that relate around the actor. For instance, like something like with you, we'll decorate lunch boxes or something. So we'll have like intimate private event with each actor that has something to do with them from the show.
Yeah, so you're not stuck at a table signing autographs all day. And we're doing like campfire chats with Lenny Morgan, s'mores and stuff like that, dinners and breakfast and wine tastings with actors. And so it's a good way for actors to make a little more money. And it also provides, like Barb was saying, a more intimate setting.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
But I could come as Victor, and we could do like peaches and drawings. Like we could have like a big wall that everybody could just draw on all day, and we could like.
Oh my God!
I mean, I'd eat peaches all day with you. And
yes.
Anytime.
Now, everybody in the crowd, Marianne's going, I want to do lunch boxes, and Kiki's like telling him about the hotel and the parties. We do parties. We take over the whole hotel.
This is like I'm already in line. This is crazy. I'll just come I want to come as a paid guest.
You should come just to hang out with us on the back patio at 2 a.m. in the morning.
So. Anytime, hang out with you, ladies. Absolutely.
And we make sandwiches for the actors at 2:00 in the morning when they're hungry.
What am I doing here?
Come on.
I'm coming there, man. That sounds amazing. The camp.
It's every Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll get Liz. I'll get whoever. I mean, yeah. Oh my God, Liz. Of course, Liz wants to do that. That'd be amazing.
In Georgia, you could have all the peaches you want in Georgia.
That's so great.
So I have a little bit of a technical question for you on the show. This is typically not y'all's time of year that you film. So how are you guys navigating the Halifax snow? Or are we going to see snow in front? Because that was one thing that Victor says is that nothing changes. Everything stays the same. Yeah. So we're going to have major snowstorms, or are they actually running out with hair dryers and melting snow every day?
I will say this, there's been a little of both, or a lot of both, so you're going to get, I mean, look, we're shooting here in the winter, so I can't say that it's not going to be in play in the show. And if you remember, actually in that scene with David where we went to the car graveyard with the violin, was when I first started saying that, like, oh, the leaves are changing, I think, and that kind of a thing. And then with Ethan later, I said, there's these changes happening. Look at the trees, and that usually means that bad things are coming or whatever, or alluding to that. That's what normally happens. Anyways, it's we've been, to answer the first part of the question, navigating is the word. Yes. So like, it's interesting because up in Beaverbank where we shoot, it's kind of up in a hill, so like it does get hit with snow. So yeah, we've been working through all of that. The winter is played into the show, but really well.
Okay.
It's been challenging, I think, in terms of certain things just for scheduling. So that's, part of the reason why we were doing this tonight, as we were talking about before, because I've had to reschedule with you, I think 3 times or something, because there were just schedule things that would happen where it's like, well, we have snow today, but you wouldn't have snow the next day or whatever. And so we're just, navigating it all. But amazingly, because we have like the greatest crew in the world here and, and greatest team and whatever. And yeah, it kind of keeps us on the edge of our toes a little bit. I would say that, the real challenge is being so used to being here in this, beautiful seaside, in downtown Halifax here. A lot of us, we're out, we're like in the park, or some of us we go surfing and whatever. And now we're here in the winter where like the snow was piled higher than I've ever seen it since I was a kid. And it was like piled on the sides of the roads, someplace where it was like higher than me. Wow. And that's been, and I'm a Canadian boy originally. Like I grew up in winters. I haven't seen snow like this. It was so crazy. But yeah, it's all there. It's all there. It's like I said, it's just another exciting element to the whole show, to the new season, I think.
That's going to be fantastic.
So I want to know is real quick before they go into a picture, is your passion acting or singing?
Oh, it's acting. It's acting. I mean, that's what I've always done. Singing and playing music. Music comes from, I love playing music, and I was just playing away on my guitar today. My mother taught classical piano in my house growing up. So that's how I started. So I really started in music and then found acting later. But I've always played throughout my life in various bands and things, which is what you were talking about earlier. But I haven't done that in years. I haven't played in a band in years.
You're phenomenal, though. You have fantastic stage presence.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm like swinging on the chandelier kind of a guy. Yeah, maybe too much sometimes. I think that's just like I just get a little crazy. It depends. But there was it's been a long time now, probably about 10 years. But the last band that I had was called the Bonafide Truth. There's a bunch of great guys out of Toronto, and we were like an 8-piece band with horns, very like, again, Southern Memphis influenced stuff, Stack Soul, that kind of thing. You know, that we were really big on that. Al Green,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
It's fabulous.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I loved your music. I loved your music.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Yeah.
We could get you to the camp and get you to play at one of the parties. Yeah.
Could do that.
There we go. There we go.
Victor and his 8-piece band.
We'll be the four.
Boxes.
We'll be your backup singers or whatever.
Anytime.
Your groupies.
Anytime. Oh my God. It was it was a. I mean, I miss it. It was great. It was a great thing to do, and we had, we were lucky. We were because of what we did, we had live horns. We used to do some festival stuff around Canada, which was always good and kind of, and it's good for that kind of music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could do it now. I came out of that experience with some pretty bad tinnitus, So I kind of I had to put the live music thing down, at least that, big band stuff. I had to put it down for a little while, protect my hearing.
Yeah. A question Barb, I'm sure you have, because he had talked about not being able to, but having not worked with everyone. That's kind of one of your questions.
What?
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 You had mentioned that, a lot of you guys have not had scenes together.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Design. So whom on the show would you really like to have some scenes with?
Oh, man. Well, there's I think just everybody I haven't. Like,
That's why you should show up there when they're doing that.
Just walk through with your lunchbox.
You might be in a
That's
loop
right.
group. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I haven't, and yet I see these people, socially we see each other all the time, but like it was funny. I haven't really sat down. I just met, AJ Simmons, who plays Randall. I just met him this year, really, and talked to him for the first time, but Elgin, Marielle, like so many people that I just haven't, we just haven't crossed paths yet on screen, but I'm always waiting for Victor's crowd scenes. When's that going to happen? Or whatever. See, maybe if Victor puts together a band, throws a party, throws a show, everybody will come.
Victor will audience surf, right?
Right.
You see it, Victor audience surfing for sure.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, Victor and the Monsters.
Yeah.
Victor and the
there
Monsters.
You go, Victor and the Monsters.
Yes. That's it. That's it.
Do you have anything that you have ever worked on that you actually came home with an item from the set? And I know it's not over yet, but you would probably go home with your lunchbox. But is there something that you take from set?
From anything I've done,
or even from. I mean, I know it's not over, so who knows?
Yeah. Anything? I can't think if there's anything from this. Although I was just talking about this actually today. I love my boots for Victor. You can't really. I mean, I'm sure you've seen them. They're just so comfy, and I love them. And as soon as I put them on, like that's just part of the character too. Like I start walking like them. But they're just, I love the boots, and I'm hoping at the end of this, they'll be like,
just walk
give
off.
you the boot.
Yeah. Just
with some
off.
boots. Walk off. That's right. Yeah. And I'll be saying, I'm going to the camp in these.
Yeah. These.
But from other shows and stuff, I don't, just trying to think. No, I can't really think of anything offhand that I've walked away with. I mean, there's been lots of stuff that I've wanted to walk away with, like walk out stealing clothes, certain things, that you're like, oh my God, I would love this jacket or this thing, whatever. But no, I can't think of anything, an object.
Scott,
nothing's coming to mind.
Anything from set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winking in the camera. Yeah. Just
Well,
accidentally forget to change clothes when you go home.
That's right. Oh, did I forget? Yeah, right. The props for Victor too. It's amazing because if you know, Victor's always got props. I've got like the lunchbox, or I've got like a thing, or a pencil, crayon sharpener.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, these props that they devise, or that they make up, or that they recreate, or whatever, like, they're amazing. Like, do you remember when Tabitha got in the tree at the end of season 2? I don't know these, but and I said, "Oh, I made you a little lunch," and I opened this thing, and whenever they come over with that stuff, and then they check it with me, and they go, "Would it be cool? We'll do this, and we'll put this in here." Like, you should have seen what was in that lunchbox. There was an egg, which I thought was really great. Which is like, you better eat this in the next 24 hours, Tabitha. There's some really interesting things in there, but the props department, like, there's just so much great work. And well, you can see on the show too, Matt Likely, the whole art department does astonishing work on this show. And in this new season, again, I can't say what it is, but it's like more and more surprises, bigger, better, more. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
I mean, you do need to go home with the lunchbox for sure. I'm sorry, Dawn. Go ahead.
I know. And even that lunchbox, you can probably see it in the shots, right? Like, it's perfectly worn and dented. Even like they've got little dents in it from worn over time, and all the attention to the detail.
Or is it just, you have just the one, or they have others on the set?
I think that's a great question, and I don't actually know the answer. The one that I'm using, I'm assuming they have a couple. Okay. I'm sure they have like their hero one, and then maybe something else that they use. But it's the most beautiful little precious lunchbox, and the drawings Colin Canning does for the show for Victor. He's the one that does all of Victor's drawings as well.
How old is he?
Yeah. 86.
86.
He's
84 years old.
84. He's I don't know, he's a young fella. He's a really nice young guy that it was funny because, again, like a whole season ago, I'd never met him. And then one day we kind of connected on social media or something, and I said, I got to come into the office and meet you one day. And then I went into like his lair. I went into where he works, and he's like, he's this brilliant artist. And that's what he does. He sits around, he draws Victor's cartoons or comics, drawings all day, with this, it looks like he's got like a hubcap of crayons in front of him, like this. You walk in, and all this stuff all over the walls, and just all these great great things. Really amazing.
Hell, I could have done that then. Any of us could. Where's that job description? Where was that job posting at?
It is cool, right?
Yeah.
I do my own drawings for my own work, but but I think his Colin's work is so great and revealing. Like, sometimes like, I remember you open the trunk and Eloise and all those things. There were all these drawings in there, and Catalina and I were pulling out certain drawings and going, "What does this mean? What is this? Like, is this revealing? What's this? What's this?" Pretty neat.
Yeah.
The story of the town, like, what what's going on.
Well, I think Ethan was onto something when he said, I think if we put them in the right order, they'll tell a story. Yeah. And so Ethan,
interesting. Yeah.
Because he is a child, and Victor is still kind of, stymied in that child mindset. Right. I think they're on the right path of, let's put these into correct order, and they'll tell the story of what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, to get now back to that point that I had forgotten earlier where I got off track, about theorizing about the show. That's the question that we get asked a lot. And I don't know. I mean, I'd be interested to hear your theories of what's going on in the town, because I don't think about it too much, because Victor doesn't. But I mean, obviously it's hard not to start theorizing about things. Let me ask you guys, like, what do you think is happening in the town?
Oh, I've gone down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
I'll let y'all start, because I went down the rabbit hole.
Dawn got us on the show, so let's hear.
All right, Dawn. Yeah, Dawn, you go. What is it? What do you think is happening? I kind
of went down the rabbit hole with Elisa. Elisa, like, really, yeah.
So from what I understand, they're up in that part of Canada around Newfoundland, there was this ancient tribe that has since gone out of existence. And they were called the Beouth, Beouth. And the witch, the Beouth witch, is in a competition game between herself and a demon. And they use you guys as pawns. And everybody that comes to From Town is selected. Because if you look, everybody has a regret. Everybody has unleft business or something that they're regretful of, or a sickness or something. And they move you guys around. And so it's like the peaches are always in supply. There's cattle and stock out in the woods just randomly. But this is all rooted back to a real lore that occurred back in the 1600s. And there was a shipwreck that occurred there, and the whole crew went missing. And in the cove in Newfoundland where the shipwreck was called Boyd's Cove. So, and the Fae that are these evil fairies that are part of the demon that come in and take the organs, and they take only the certain organs, like the gallbladder for the bile, and there's certain rejuvenation parts, because they only take the organs of people. So there's, so I've gone down that rabbit hole.
And we followed.
Yes, you have.
Yeah. And they followed me.
That's a crazy good theory. I haven't heard anything like that yet. That's a crazy good theory.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a lot of from what I've been able to find that matches along with it. Now, whether Pinker and Bender, because they're the creators of Lost, so you've got also that kind of a Lost feeling. Whether they followed that lore, I don't know, but there is some lore that does align with what's going on in the show.
What's going on?
And Tilly, they always said that there was a mole in town, that there was kind of like a bad person who knew exactly what was going on. And I think a lot of people had said they thought it was Donna, but I've decided it's Tilly, the lady that got off of the bus. So there's a lot out there if you fall down the rabbit hole far enough.
I mean, I have seen some stuff. I mean, hell, I get blamed for that. I get blamed. I'm like, there's people out there that think that I'm the bad guy, that I'm the secret kind of,
Yeah.
So many theories, so many great theories out there. That's good, man. Yeah, you went down.
I went down. Yeah, I did. But I would think even if, even you as Scott McCord, you may not want to go into any kind of research like that, because Victor is so in the moment of everything that's happening around him, or he's reflective of past events. And so I would be afraid that even as if you started looking and researching and thinking up theories, that it might have a reflection on how you portray your character.
End up playing Victor. Right. I agree. Yeah. I got asked that this is a good question that came on some of our publicity, the year of and just talking about what do you think would happen to Victor after he left this place or something like that. And that's always my response is like, I don't think, he doesn't think about that. I don't think, that's just the reality of it, Yeah. This is his existence. He's just part of this. This is what it is. And I agree with you. Yeah, 100%.
My daughter Angel says, "Welcome to the Nut House, Scott."
Hi, Angel.
Theories.
What's that? What was the last part?
She said we're full of fan theories.
Oh yeah.
She's so one of the ones that's the Owen fan, by the way.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, thank you. Thanks for watching Total Drama. And how long has relishing the dead is the right? How long has this been around now? How long have you guys been doing this?
84 years.
Yeah.
84 years.
84 years. June will be a year.
What a coincidence. Yeah. Wow, that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys are amazing.
A lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all met because of The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Because of The Walking Dead. Yeah, of course. Yeah, right.
We love it. We love, we've been very, blessed to have so many wonderful guests from The Walking Dead, as well as, it gets weird when you say from the cast of From. And so we're hoping to have more cast members come and visit with us. When we're not talking with special guests, we are breaking down the episodes of The Walking Dead and doing discussions on those. So,
well, I'm going to be here. I'm going to check out some of this stuff. It's great. Well, I got to dig into the new shows.
Right.
Yeah.
I got to catch up now.
Yeah, because you came in on us talking about the sex scene. So.
Yeah.
Yes, you were.
I was wondering why Rick finished so early.
Because on The Walking Dead, we've had fucking, smoking, drinking.
It's what happens.
It's Colony House all the way.
Colony all the way.
Yeah.
Well, unless we don't have any others, I'm curious. So we're going to still do your questions. Dawn, did you have another one? I know you asked me one. Didn't you have one earlier?
I don't think so. I think I asked them all.
We're doing the other questions, Lisa?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Scott, on your Instagram, I saw a picture of the 75th anniversary of the Actors Studio. Okay, so Eliza?
So we, in honor of James Lipton, like to end our interviews with special guests doing the Lipton questions. So we are going to do the James Lipton questions with you tonight.
You got it. Great.
We're going to let Carol start us off.
The first question is the biggie. What's your favorite curse word? And you can say it.
Oh man, word. I can think of phrases.
That'll work.
Does that work or not work?
Sure, yeah,
it works.
The best one, if I'm pushed too far, like if everything's just going wrong, oh my God, I can't believe you're going to get me to say this on the show, but just for you guys, because I love you. And I've been known to say, fuck me in the mouth. Yeah. And it's not that I'm really literally asking for that, but there's something just really
That's good.
satisfying in a moment of
That's kind of a
Carol, you're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. That's one I can't take credit for. I picked it up from somebody I was in a band with ages ago, and it's one of those things. It just gets in you, and then it comes out.
You know what? I'm not going to say anything other than that for the rest of my life.
It's kind of
but it has to come out. It'll come out in a moment of rage. It's like double fist slamming on the table, right? It's got to be. Yeah.
68, and I owe you one.
Oh my God! I need a T-shirt, ladies, that says that.
Fuck me in the mouth. Yep, that's it.
That's it.
I can't believe I just said that. I can't believe I just said that. My kids probably watch anyway.
What's that?
That is so great. Okay, so other than curse words, what is your favorite word?
I can answer this very quickly. My favorite word in the English language is rummage, because I don't know why. I don't use it that often, but I think it's just the word that best describes what you're doing.
Rummage. It's a good one.
There's Kelsey's on board with it. Hi, Kelsey.
Sorry, I'm not.
I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get shit now. She's gonna call me after this.
I saw that. I'm gonna say I'm gonna wait till the ladies see it before I take it down.
Yeah. Welcome, Kelsey. Welcome.
But wait, I'm gonna ask if Kelsey's watching. Maybe she'll write again. But Kelsey, you've heard me say that.
Yeah.
Not to you, but I'm sure she's heard. I know she's heard me say it. I know she's heard me say it.
She said it's 100% true.
Yeah, rummage is a great word. I wish I could use it more, but I guess I'm just not rummaging enough off.
Right.
Rummaging often.
There you go.
So, what is your least favorite word?
My least favorite would be okay, I gotta think about that one. I don't know. I mean, immediately I felt like I got a little emotional there. It was like something like really depressing. I don't know, like it would be just something that, obviously just lacks all hope and just something really, anything that I think that goes out there that's just discouraging and negative, and
That's
negative
good.
and just, like anything, it's a funny thing, right? With all that stuff, like it's that I noticed too in raising kids, right? Where some of us are parents here, and negative energy, and just even, it's so funny once you have a kid too. Oh, here she is. Many times with lots of rage. That's how I know you're seriously pissed. Yeah. Thank you, honey. Isn't a funny thing that you learn, especially when you have kids too, and is that because my daughter's seen and heard everything, around me. But
but
that even, what's that?
I said she has after tonight.
Tonight, but also like just even sarcasm sometimes, right? You know what I mean? And I'm like, I love cracking the jokes and all that. Even sarcasm can have a negative impact, on somebody. So anyways, I don't have any single word for it, but obviously any word that has any kind of disparaging outcome, I guess, or something.
Good. Barb?
What turns you on?
Dark chocolate. Which I just had some, and now I'm thinking of having some more when we're done here.
Dark.
What turns me on? That, and not because she's just here watching. My powerhouse wife turns me on in every way. She's just like in every way.
Brownie points, Kelsey. He's getting brownie points.
Yeah. Everything. I don't know. Anything can. It's, sunshine. I mean, that's something. Even just sunshine can just pull the best out of me. Make me feel. Which we haven't had much of here lately. But when it does come out, I feel like a different person.
Okay. What turns you off?
Fear that is driving. I don't even have to get into it with you, ladies. Fear that's driving people to do what they do to other people in this life.
Thank you.
I think
Thank you.
that to me is, again, to get back to the most disparaging. It's just that thing with inner peace that we all struggle with. But I feel like, man, that's what I just feel. In a broader stroke, if the world just seems like sometimes we all feel this way. It's just is in a top spin of fear.
Right.
We're just driven by it now. And that would be my answer to that for sure.
This is not one of his questions. It's just one of our added ones. But if you can have a birthday party and you can invite 3 actors or actresses, dead or alive, who would it be?
You know what Liz said? Liz went,
what Liz said?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
I know she's Larry, Curly, and Moe. Is that what she said?
She wanted to have multiple parties.
Multiple parties?
Yeah.
That's her answer?
I didn't even get the question out. She was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's cheating. Oh, man. All right. I don't know. I'll just throw this out because it's off the top of my head. I'm going to say Kate Blanchett. Brando. I gotta have Brando there. I'd say, and James Dean for me. He's my favorite actor looking.
Nice.
Wow.
Now that's going to be a weird table. That's going to be a weird party.
Yeah.
Marlon Brando's going to be staring at Kate Blanchett all night.
Yeah.
Come on, she is. I mean, I just feel like she's the queen. She never fails to always go further than she has the last time that we've seen her. She's always stepping forward with the next thing. I'm always know I'm going to get something new from her. That's what's so exciting about watching her work. Broad spectrum of characters.
Don,
what's your favorite sound?
Oh, it's a fart by far. No, but come on. I mean, guys, unequivocally in this life, like there's nothing else in the. Look at all of us right now, right? It's the best sound ever. See?
All right, who's snorting? Somebody is snorting.
Lisa.
Somebody's snorting.
It's the fart. It is the fart. Hands down.
Oh,
that is
God.
the best sound. It's the best sound.
That's the best answer we've ever gotten. We've heard,
really, nobody else has ever said that. Nobody.
The sound of my child sleeping, the sound of my child laughing, and here's Scott going a fart.
A fart. I don't know. I'm so I'm 11 years old. That's why.
Okay, your least favorite sound.
A fart being held in.
Least favorite sound I think would be oh, no. I was going to say, it's funny, where I'm living here in Halifax, I'm near these shipyards, and I had to get very accustomed to these big 18-wheelers coming right by my window here, and there's an intersection at the bottom of the street, and you can hear the flatbeds go through every morning at 6 a.m. But I've actually grown to love it, so I can't say I don't like it anymore because it just makes me feel at home. I would say the sound of like rage, when somebody's when somebody's yelling, "Fuck me in the mouth." There you go.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. That we gotta. Yeah, I think that there's certain sounds that we, when somebody's really raging on somebody else, I find that quite, disturbing. A wet fart. Somebody just wrote a wet fart.
That's my daughter. Again,
That was your daughter? Good answer.
Yeah.
So
proud.
another added question that we asked: if you had a birthday party and you could invite 3 musicians or a band, dead or alive, who would you pick?
Oh boy, or a band, like one band.
Well, you can do 3.
Yeah.
Or 3 band. Oh my goodness. Who would I want there? I would want Buddy Holly, Levon Helm, and Al Green.
Wow.
I'm gonna say.
I love that.
Well, that's all Southern. I got all Southern characters in there.
Yeah.
Lubbock, Texas, Memphis, and
Yeah.
well, Al Green actually, I think, was originally from Michigan, I think, and then moved to this South.
Yeah.
But Levon Helm, I think.
What?
Not quite sure. Anyway.
You gotta think about it.
Got to think about it. I don't know.
I actually saw the Reverend Al Green in the Walmart in Millington one time.
No.
Yeah.
That's great.
Wow.
It was crazy. I knew exactly who he was too.
Oh God, yeah. Hey, yes. Have you ever seen him live?
Yes, and I've seen him and BB King live. I was sitting at BB King's in Memphis. This was years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
And I was sitting at a table with my back to the stage, and we were eating, and all of a sudden I heard this music, just like these practice notes, come across, and man, the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I whipped around, and it was him. It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, the power in those guys, because they're and those guys coming from a different generation of musicians altogether, right? And how they grew up. My wife and I I never saw Al Green. I was a huge fan, and we got to New York. I think I want to say around my 35th birthday or something like that. We decided to go and see him at BB King's Club, which is now not there anymore. But it was a great place to see him. It was like it was like a bar, but it was like had a theater sort of feel to it. And I know you guys are all familiar with him, but he is, to me, what I love about him is he's just a consummate, he's the greatest performer because he's electric. Yeah. And he's so present when he's singing, right? And I remember he came out in a tux with roses, and he's throwing the roses. And by the end of that show, that tux is like all unraveled. He's out in the crowd.
Yeah.
Right? He's out in the crowd grabbing people's hands and singing Amazing Grace. And my wife kept saying, "Do you want to dance? Do you want to go out and dance? Do you want to go?" And I couldn't move. I was numb because it was so electric. And that was him in his late 60s at that point, maybe. Isn't that great? Wow. I know. BB King. Love it.
Okay. So what profession other than acting or singing would you like to attempt?
Well, you know, when I was like about 5 or 6 years old, I was in the first grade, and I had to write something out about what I wanted to be. And even though I wanted to be on TV then, I remember that was my thing. For a little while, I wanted to be an astronaut. I thought that would be a really cool thing. But then I found out it involved math, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do
that. I'm
no
with
astronaut.
You on that.
I don't know. I feel, God, I mean, I've been so blessed to just, whether, you know, it was acting or music or whatever it is, that I've had this opportunity to have this wonderful creative life. Whatever kind of falls within that, you know, I don't know. I left acting for about almost a decade, and did music and other things for a while. And then it was this interesting thing where as soon as I went, a friend of mine had called me, and I knew why she was calling me. She'd written a play, and she wanted, as soon as I was back out on stage for the very first time in all that time, and I was terrified because I hadn't done it in a while. But I remember walking out on stage in this thing, and I went, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'd never felt that feeling stronger, you know? Mm-hmm. So I've never really thought about anything else, which sounds like a bit of a cop-out, but it's true.
What profession would you never want to do? Anything that involves math. Banker.
I mean, there's a few.
Banker.
I don't know. I think. I mean, I don't want to. You know, it's hard. I don't want to insult anybody out there. You know, news media. There's a lot of things out there that I feel like just come with. I don't know. I just don't think I would have the capacity. You know, even to do it. You know.
Kelsey outed you. Scott wanted to be Santa Claus when he was little.
Oh yeah. That is actually true. Thanks, Kel. Oh. Yes. It didn't work out. It didn't really work out.
No.
And your last question, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Please don't fart.
Watch the potty mouth. Watch the potty mouth.
Yeah, watch it. Yeah. Watch what you say in here. Yeah. You did all right.
Right.
Yeah.
You did all right. You know,
great.
like I think that's just, you know, say when the bigger life challenges of just for any of us to know that we're moving through this, and, you know, this life that we have, you know, my therapist would say this great thing about, like, you know, that we're navigating, like holding this almost like this moon-sized diamond that is our life. We're carrying it. We're holding it. Yeah, you know, I think that once I became a parent, I mean, as you know, right, it just, everything changes at that point. And I would just love to know that, you know, just get up there and get the jumping high five from God. You did it.
Yay,
you did okay.
It. That's perfect.
You were an absolute treat tonight. This was awesome.
Yes.
Hey, thank you. I had a blast. I know. I was kind of like about 5 minutes ago, I was like, oh, is this ending? Oh, it's like,
I know.
It was such a joy with y'all because, again, I was getting so scared that it wasn't going to happen because everything just kept shifting. So thank you for having me. What an honor to be a part of this thing, and thank you, Dawn, for introducing everybody to the world of From.
Yeah.
And if I can do one more plug. It's I promise this next season is just like out of the water. It's so great. Super, super, super great. I know.
Will you come back and visit us after the season?
What's that?
I said, will you come back and visit us after the season?
Well, I'm coming to camp, Dawn.
Okay.
In my Victor boots.
All right.
With the lunchbox.
Did you miss the meeting? We just had it. My band's going to play.
He's going to hang out on the patio with us until 3 or 4 in the morning. So.
Okay.
That's right. And bring Kelsey. Bring Kelsey.
You have to bring Kelsey.
I'll bring Kelsey. Yeah, you guys will love Kelsey.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jennifer Davidson. Thank you for coming and sharing with. Yeah, it's been a joy, and oh, that's awesome. You guys said this is so great. And how many podcast episodes have you guys had now? How many? Do you know?
No.
That's okay.
Because
we started out only doing every Monday when we would do a show review, but then been very blessed to have a lot of special guests, and so we do those on whatever night accommodates, you guys' schedules. And so I don't know, feels like 1,000, but maybe
I say it's probably in the 30s.
30s or 40s. Yeah. 30s or 40s.
You guys are all pros. It's amazing. And you've got great hearts. And
yeah, we would love to have more of your castmates on. I'm
going to spread the word.
Please.
Yeah, tell them, say, hey, this chick has written all of you guys. Check your DMs. But definitely we want to have you back, and maybe we can make it a dynamic duo because Liz wanted to come back, so we'll bring you and Liz both back.
Liz, you could do maybe even you, Liz and Dave. We could do anything you want. I'm gonna tell all my friends all about it, and we'll get the word out about relishing the dead. This is amazing. You guys are doing this, and bless you.
Thank you.
And shoot me a good mailing address for you because we want to send you a token of our appreciation for coming on the show.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's room 5 in the Colony House.
I knew that was coming.
3rd floor.
Colony House.
Take a left at the diner. And go up the hill.
Fromville, USA.
Fromville. If whatever one see that tree. Whatever we send you happens to end up somewhere on set in the background.
Okay.
Again.
Yeah. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. I'll see what I can pull.
Yeah.
It's really cold.
Victor does a lot when nobody's looking.
Yeah, really cold. I'm going to put this on.
Yeah.
I'm a little chilly. Next thing, we're gonna have Scott draw some purple lips.
Up on his wall.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Thank you.
And we're also going to promote the camp. I'm going to promote the shit out of the camp.
If not, just fuck me in the mouth.
Oh my
God. I will send you some information about the camp, and hopefully get you guys on board for next May. It's every May. It's in Georgia. We have a grand time, and
that's great.
And you guys will be finished filming, so you guys can come on and hang out with us down there. But I'll send you some info for it.
Yeah.
That's great, ladies. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure meeting y'all. And
thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Scott, for coming on with us, and thank you, Kelsey, for joining in the audience. Much love to you. Much love to you, Scott.
Much love to you guys. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Night. All right, everybody stay in here with us. We're going to do some crazy trivia. So don't leave.
Don't leave. Barbara's got to fix her crock pot. It's like bubbling. It's making noises. That's why I kept jumping.
Wonderful?
Yes.
Oh my
gosh.
Yes. Scott was a lot of
Kelsey,
fun.
thank you so much for being with us. Yeah.
We really appreciate Kelsey's input, especially about the Santa Claus thing. We'll probably use that again.
He was an absolute joy. He was absolutely wonderful to have on. So yes, everybody in the audience, we're going to do some mean, crazy trivia, and we're giving away some pretty significant prizes. One that's a camp event too, I believe, right?
Yep. Dawn.
What are we giving away, Dawn?
I can't hear. What
are we giving away?
Oh.
I said, what are we giving away?
Oh, I think Barb is giving away like a cool package of all kinds of Walking Dead stuff. And then I think we have mask making with OK. Right?
That's correct. Right? We have mask making with OK. Yeah. So as soon as our trivia queen gets back in here.
And I don't know if anyone saw Mary Ann's post of her mask that she made last year, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
She had OK signed. It was really awesome.
Yeah, those masks were very, very cool.
I want to burn dinner. Okay. Oh, the crock pot was making noises.
Just so everybody knows, Barb is making pot roast.
Yeah.
Pot roast. For the week.
So everybody be at Barb's house in 30 minutes.
Yeah. No, I know you guys are talking about prizes. I could hear it. But I'm going to put together, what did we say? 2 prizes, right? You guys have the first one. And I'm going to put together a care package of some McFarlane's. I have some poster work. So it'll be a nice little care package as a second prize.
Okay.
So what are the rules, Barb?
Yeah, you want to tell the rules?
Yeah, well, each question, everybody's going to have their questions. You'll have 5 seconds. This way we don't have anybody Googling really fast. If the first one that we're giving away, what we're going to do is we're going to write down everybody's names who answers the questions correctly. Carol and Eliza have the better view of who's got the answer correct. I'm going to write down their names. I'm going to fold this up. I'm going to throw it in a bowl. And then at the end of all the questions, we're going to pick the main winner for the masking with.
Okay. Yes.
Yep. Let us know that, if you're going to the camp, that's what it's going to be. And then we'll do it again for the second prize, which is the care package I'll put together for you guys.
So if you're not going to the camp, then you don't want the okay prize.
Yeah. But if you win it, we could work something out, you want to hand it off, we'll figure something out. So Elise, you want to start? Go that way?
Yeah.
Sure.
All
So
right.
my 3 questions have to do with the Ones Who Live series. So the first question is, how long is the CRM's plan to bring the world back? How long is the CRM plan to bring the world back?
Pamela. Oh no, Edward.
Edward.
Look at Edward.
Way to go, Edward.
Good job, Edward. Okay.
Got it.
So we're doing 3 all together, or are we rotating?
It's up to you.
Go ahead.
Okay, the second one. Who was Danger? Who was Danger?
Edward again.
Edward again. All right. In episode 1, what is Rick watching on television? In episode 1, what is Rick watching on television? Close, Vanessa, but there's something. Pamela got it. Pamela.
Kiki got it.
Oh, Kiki. Yeah, you're right. Kiki got it. Collapse of Omaha. Very good.
I love the balloons, Dawn.
Yeah, makes it
festive. Was balloons.
Kiki.
Kiki. Yep.
Kiki got it. Yep.
Got it. Oh, I guess it's me, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Mine are all from the old school Walking Dead. Okay. In season 9, who shows up from Michonne's past? We need her name. Nope.
Edward got it.
Okay. All right. Got it. All right. In season 7, when Daryl escapes the cell at the sanctuary, he kills Fat Joey outside. What does Daryl retrieve off of Fat Joey? What item does he retrieve off of Fat Joey?
Edward got it again.
He's on fire.
Yeah, he is. Somebody wants that mask painting, is what it is.
Okay. Name the episode when Shane dies.
Yes, Leslie, we can see you.
Nope. Okay. I got a backup question. That episode, nope, it was called Better Angels. All right. How long did Andrea and Michonne survive on their own? All right. Nope. All right, those are my questions. I'm over, and that was 8 months.
How many months?
8 months.
Okay.
Okay. Dawn or Carol? I don't know who's next.
Whoever wants to go.
Okay, I'll go because clockwise.
All right.
All right, my 3 questions are from the mothership. Kind of early to mid episodes. The first question is, what is the name of the horse that Daryl borrows from Herschel? No.
Not Buttercup.
Edward got it again. Dang,
Edward got it again.
Edward
got mix these up good.
Yeah. All right. Second question. Name 2 of the 4 items that Daryl and Beth snack on at the funeral home. 2 of the 4 items that they snack on. No. Edward got it again. Peanut butter and pig's feet.
Wow, he's on fire.
He's on fire tonight. Okay, and the last question for me. What kind of group does Carol ask Deanna if Alexandria has? It was during her interview when she was being videotaped by Deanna.
Who's Deanna?
Marianne got it.
Good job, Marianne.
Okay, good job, Marianne.
Who's Deanna?
Who's Deanna?
Good job.
All right, Dawn.
All right, mine's kind of a mixture of the ones who live and the world beyond. So, what is the name of General Bill's son? What is the name of General Bill's son?
Nobody? Nobody.
It was Mason. Okay. What was the count on the brick wall with Grimes' name on it? What was the number?
Oh, I know this one. Pam got it.
Pamela got it.
Pam got it.
Those balloons.
Okay. Pre-apocalypse. Okafor was part of what military? What division of military was Okafor part of?
Yes, Anissa, we're seeing y'all. And Angela as well.
Kiki, no. Edward.
Edward. Air Force.
And I'll do one more since they didn't get the last one. What was Okafor's first name?
Damn it.
Craig. No.
Frank.
Frank. Donald?
Wow.
Donald? Okay, Edward got it. Donald. Edward's chances of winning are high.
Angel says being crazy not being able to play.
I know, right?
Well, what the fun part was beforehand, we ask each other these so we know what the answers are going to be if somebody sees it first. And actually, Carol and Dawn both stumped me. So,
do we know if Edward's coming to camp?
Edward, are you coming to camp?
In the comments, please. He hasn't answered yet.
Edward?
Yes, he says yes.
Okay, cool.
All right.
So what are we drawing for first?
The main one.
Okay.
The mask with okay.
Mask with okay. All right. There we go. I wonder who it is. It's Kiki.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow. Kiki.
Nice.
Wow. She's lucky.
Woohoo. You're going to camp. That's right. Yep. All right. Oh my God. All right, here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
And there it is. Edward.
Yay.
So he wins the prize package.
Yes, and I'll put together a nice little package for you, Edward.
Do we want to say what we're giving away Monday?
We can.
Go for it, Carol.
Well, we are on Monday. We are going to give away a breakfast with Pollyanna.
Yay! And you get to be in there with us.
Yes, it's not just with Pollyanna, it's with all of us too.
Yes.
So, and just so you all know, we were seeing the people's comments. It's just they're pulling the first ones that came up with the correct answer.
Yeah. So tomorrow, is that right, Dawn? Tomorrow night is when we're going to give that away.
Yep. After the episode breakdown.
Okay. So tomorrow after the episode breakdown, we'll talk about it and then we'll do something for Barb will come up with something crazy to give that away. But yeah, that's breakfast with Pollyanna Saturday morning.
I think I like the name drawing because it makes it suspenseful.
Yeah.
I know, but then it's like I'm like scared because it's like I'm the one doing it. I like the spinning wheel. But I will give Edward a little sneak peek of a very big prize I'm going to put in this box, and it's this picture frame, Outpost 22.
Nice.
Like the metal from like the walls of Alexandria. It's really not, but yeah. So just
That's good.
That's
really nice.
I love that piece. I've seen that piece in person, and it's very, very cool.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
More goodies.
Well, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central.
That's right.